Hello friends, good morning. It's Monday the 7th of June 2021. Welcome back to another quick garden tour. So we're going to stick to just the garden today because not much has changed with the fruit in the orchard. I'm joined today by my daughter Charlotte. Charlotte, say hello.
Hi.
We just got done watering. So let's look at all these things that we watered because it's growing like crazy. We have watered every morning and we've had 90-degree weather. It's been like high summer growth. And the first bed by Garden Bunny. You can see each of those zucchini are filling up the space beautifully. In fact, I can probably start training them in another week or two. Zinnia is flowering and this rando broccoli is growing nicely. The Jerusalem artichokes are now over my belly button. Last week I think they were about down here. In the next bed up, you see that the peas are taller than Charlotte. Charlotte's about 3 feet tall. The late potatoes are coming in well. This is a potato, this is a potato. I just have to take a little hand hoe and squash those weeds out. And these beets are looking really lovely. I probably need to thin them. The strawberry asparagus bed is producing wonderfully.
Let's pick some berries.
Let's pick some berries. We've been doing that every morning, haven't we? Okay, here's a good one. Go ahead, show us what you've learned.
We learned all about these.
You learned all about these? Yep, you pick it. Give it a good pull. There we go. Thank you. We're doing a series called Gardening with Children. If you haven't seen those, it's all things you can do with young ones in your garden. This last one, we were picking berries for jam. Check it out if you haven't. In the next bed up, you can see that the peas are growing just like in the other bed. The early potatoes are coming along nicely. I've got a weed in here too. I'm a little disappointed that this middle area isn't filling in with potatoes yet. I guess we'll have to see what happens. And the radishes all need to be harvested. You can see their heads really nicely. In the next bed up, hopefully you can appreciate the tomatoes. I'd say they're all past the 2-foot mark. In fact, I just trimmed them yesterday. The way I grow my tomatoes, I like to grow them pretty tall. So I snip any sections. I don't want any competing growth. I'm not saying this right. Let's say your tomato is growing and a fork goes right here and both of these trailing vines have flower heads. I don't want that. So I snip one of them, I pick the strongest one, and I train that up. And then at the same time, I'm also cutting leafy growth on the bottom and any kind of offshoots that are producing down low. I do that for the first couple months, June into July, and then that just goes up and up and up and up. And when it's reached a point where I stop doing it, and it fills out along the entire area, and it looks great, and it's got better ventilation, and the stuff at the bottom that usually gets mildewy is just gone, so there's no infection, and I get a huge harvest. So that's what I'm doing with the tomatoes. In front of that though, these are carrots interspersed with weeds. And I think this is the biggest disappointment of the garden right now. I don't know if the soil was loose enough necessarily for the carrots. I'm second guessing where I'm going to grow carrots, beets, and radishes next year. The ground cherries plants are growing well. I'm still, wondering whether these are too close together because like over here, this one that's just alone is a lot bigger and healthier. Over here, we've got the crookneck squash, pumpkin, and pumpkin. That one's a little smaller than this one. This one, I think, will probably tip over by the end of this week and start sprawling out. It's doing really nicely. You see these are all wet, all the cabbages here. That's because I had a helper helping me water just a bit ago. Look at my garden helper. Yeah, you stand right there. Here, Charlotte, look at the camera. Say hi.
Hi.
And so, Charlotte, for scale, the brassicas, here's my hand too. They're all very, very healthy. And I'm pleased to say that the Mexican sunflowers are looking great, as are the blueberries coming back to life. All the beans are coming up well. They're just about a foot tall. That means some of the runners are starting to climb up and wind around, like this one, wind around the trellis. And once that happens, they start to explode in growth. You can check out the raspberries. Raspberries are actually setting on. The black jewels are particularly far along. They always are the first ones to be harvested. The black currants don't really look different. Same with the red currants, no change. We have started to harvest the gooseberry bush. Obviously, we've only scratched the surface, but this is harvestable. Again, we were picking gooseberries in the Gardening with Children video, and we're gonna start making jam in a week or two. We also started picking the rhubarb. So in the barrels, everything's growing well. Obviously, again, haven't done anything for the spinach. I've been using mint. Some of the Swiss chard is coming in great. The kale just looks exactly how I wanted it to, and it tastes really good. In fact, I found out today that Charlotte likes raw kale. Check it out. What was that, Charlotte? Kale. Apparently I have a daughter that likes kale fresh from the garden. So back to the barrels. Peppers over here are also a disappointment. I don't think I'm gonna grow them in barrels next year, and probably they need more sun. So I'll hold you here so you can get this nice angle of everything behind me. It's nice and green. It's a fun time of the year. My two bye. My two favorite months of the year in the garden are June and July, just because it's so green, lots of growth. You don't have to deal with a lot of bugs. You're not sick of it. Not that you really get sick of gardening, but you know what I mean? It's all fresh still. So we love it. How are things going in your garden? Let us know what you're growing. And if you like the video, you know what to do. Check out Gardening with Children. Have a good week, guys. Happy growing.